what's going on guys, Kyle here and welcome back to the Nexus channel, and today I'm here by myself, but I'm going to be talking about the next map for the Premier Weekly matches, and this match is going to be on Split. So I'm just going to be telling you guys the comp that we are going to run, which is kind of generic, but for Daniel, he's going to be playing Raze mainly just because Raze is definitely the best. Like, if you're gonna run like a solo duelist or double duelist, then you just want to include Raze because of like her nades, and just Boombot is so good to like just clear space and get space. So Raze is definitely like a must-have. And then we're gonna have a Sky. Sky is also like the best initiator because most of the time, especially for Split, there's no need for you to have a double initiator. So just having like one initiator and Sky just being able to have a dog and a flash just really helps out. Yeah, it's really good to follow up like with the Raze. So the Raze, you can dog into Heaven for example, and then like the Raze just satchels in with the dog, so that can really be helpful. Brim, I'd probably recommend playing Astra, but Brim will also work. I just feel like for Alex especially, having just Brim instead of an Astra for him would be a lot easier, just to be able to smoke correctly and not having to worry about like pull and stuns, just be able to throw a molly. For me, I'm either gonna be running a Jet, just in case like we need more firepower like after the first game, and like we see that it wasn't working. But I think for the first game we're mainly gonna try playing a Sage, just mainly because Sage is so good for like having control over like all of the map. Like you can block out mid, you can block out them from like fast pushing site. You can just like buy your team time to rotate to a certain area, or you can just like completely take out an area that like, so you can have like stack more players towards one site. And then Viper, I feel like double controller like Viper or Astra is pretty good to have, but I feel like the main components that people should have is the Raze, the Viper, and the Sky. Like these three are a must. Then the second controller you can kind of like choose between. I recommend either Brim or an Astra though, not like an Omen. And the Sage I could recommend as well. It's up to you though. Like you don't have to have the Sage, but the second controller is like your decision. But I'll recommend a Brim or an Astra. And I'm just gonna show you mainly just like some things that you can do for for Sage and Viper, because there are some lineups that you can do. So for Sage, your walls, if you're playing Heaven, I wouldn't really recommend playing this wall, because with this wall, what they can do, like, they can just insta spam this, and then it just creates this whole, like, so this wall pretty much just became useless, because of the insta wall. What you can do is, instead of placing a wall there, you can place a wall here, and with this wall, well, probably a bit more further, so you can stand up here. But with this wall, they will have to come up to Heaven, or they will have to at least push towards here to be able to shoot that. And even if they do, it's an awkward angle. And so you pretty much clear out the option of them going Heaven. And if they are mid still, then they'll either go through ropes, or they'll have to go back to the garage or through sewers. So you just put them in a pretty awkward spot, because you pretty much just took out this whole area that they can rush. And for a site, for example, let's say they're rushing B, this wall, it's kind of the same thing, because if you place your wall here, there's probably going to be a smoke here, so it won't really do too much. And once again, they can just spread, the wall won't really be too useful. But since there's probably going to be a smoke there, what you can do instead is place a wall like this, because when they run out of the smoke, if they play Sage, they'll probably wall like here, just like something like this. So they'll have like themselves like box pretty much. And if they don't have a Sage, they will run out of the smoke and they'll see the Sage wall. And they have either two options: run back, or they have to push through here. And if you're playing here, there could be a guy playing Heaven. So when they push out of the smoke, they'll die. And if they do somehow kill this guy, then you can have like the Sage that plays the wall, it can be prepared for him. So this wall is just like a lot better for those scenarios. And for attacking side of the wall, once again, this wall for like attacking in beat site is probably the best wall you have. I don't really like, there are Grim walls here, but I don't really suggest you doing Grim walls, because I mean it doesn't get as much value as like a wall should have. So like if you want to do it in rank, go for it. but I wouldn't recommend doing it. For A, I would recommend either you blocking out heaven, like so, something along the lines of this. Block, just make sure. Okay, I kind of messed it up because I'm pretty sure they can just, yeah, they can crouch up. But just make sure you block heaven out in a way that they can't push out of heaven, and or you can block here and make sure they can't come through screens. So yeah, just or if you get control of heaven and you can. I mean, this is not too good of a wall, but you can, because they can once again just break it. So you can place it there to just block out CT and buy some time. If like time is all you need, then like that wall could do it. And or you can do that. This wall is actually not bad because it kind of blocks out this whole area, and like so you pretty much just takes away an area that you have to worry about, and you can just focus on watching screens. So yeah, just those walls are pretty the best. There are people that do like walls like this. I wouldn't suggest it because if you really have sight control, you don't want to take like this area away. So like sure, like you can make the they're gonna push this way, but like if you're standing here, then you quite literally can't help your team unless they're peeking out through heaven. If they're pushing here, you will have no intel whatsoever, as you can see. So I wouldn't suggest doing that wall. That wall is kind of like it can be a detriment to your team. Other walls that you can do for like defense, for defense in A, I would suggest you can either do this wall. This wall is actually okay, but for pistol round, this wall is actually pretty good. But for main rounds, it's pretty bad because once again, they can just spray it. It'll break pretty fast. Not too helpful. So you can do this wall maybe. We'll block here, so you kind of have more time. The wall have like more time to actually like fully grow, and you can also do this wall right here because this wall, just like the wall here in tower, it's kind of like a disease because the guy has to like walk up and then he'll finally see the wall, and when he does see the wall, if you hear him, you can play here, and then most of the time a Sage will be playing on top of the wall. So if he doesn't see anything, he'll probably try running back. So what you can do is try catching him at an awkward timing and just shoot him. You can kind of stand on the wall, but if you're gonna stand on the wall, I would suggest you, because as soon as they see the wall here, they're gonna be like, oh, okay. So if you're gonna stand on the wall, I'll suggest you standing like here on the wall, like just this angle, because if you look carefully, like here, they can't see it. They'll have to like walk up here to see you. So you can do that wall. Yeah, I would suggest, like, I honestly prefer, because once again, smokes, you can smoke here pretty easily, but if you want to smoke, if you smoke, like, the best way to smoke for heaven is here. Here is kind of like annoying too, like, because the guy can just push up to here. So having a stage wall is actually better because it still lets you like keep control of like this place by standing on top of the wall. But it also blocks this, so even if you die, you will lose control of this, and lose intel, but it will still be blocked. So it will kind of work as smoke as well. So then, like, also since we're playing Brim, it will also just like really save like the smoke. Even though we'll probably have a Viper, the Viper wall will probably go in A, which is what I'm gonna show you next, which is the Viper walls that you can do for this map, and the Viper walls are actually pretty simple. Where's it? Oh, I did not mean to.
30 seconds left.
The Viper walls that you can do are pretty simple. For defense, I would suggest this wall. Yeah, just something along the lines of this, for instance, where kind of blocks. You probably want to aim it up, so yeah, actually, okay, never mind.
Toxins going up.
Yeah, this wall, kind of leaves a gap here, but not too bad. But it also, like, the main priority is blocking here and here, so, like, yeah, that's just the main priority. If you want, you can throw a Viper orb, like, here, if you can. I honestly found it, like, really hard to actually throw a good orb, so, yeah. And then, if B, you should probably leave to your second controller. You should probably like leave it by itself. Like, now your Viper should be placing this wall all the time on defense.
30 seconds left.
And same thing, the good part about running the double controller is the part where the Viper can place her wall at the same place every time. So for this map, it's probably going to be A, and you should always try placing it on A because of the fact that if you're rushing B, you can, and you need to rotate. Then the Viper was already placed there, so it doesn't really give a hints because it's already there. So it was, and so you can either do this wall, which will block all of heaven, and this, and okay. So for the other Viper wall, that you needed was right here, as well, because for this one, when you throw it here, what this Viper wall does is it blocks this angle, so you can't get shot from here, and it also blocks, and it also just gives the race space to like kind of satchel in, and it also gives you it allows you to go into ropes. So it just kind of like, yeah, it just gives you control of like heaven and that kind of stuff, and also like it just lets you walk into heaven quite easily. So and then like you can use your brim or your astro, whatever you want to call it, to smoke screens and heaven when you decide to push site. So yeah, just okay. And then if you're playing Raze, and you're trying to learn like the satchels, you should learn for attacker. The main satchels that you're gonna use are for A. So you should learn the satchel where you go into heaven, and you should also learn this a satchel where you go from here all the way to here. Because something that you would do an execute is throw a sky flash here. You will clear this. If there is a person, then he'll probably leave because of that flash, and if he's still there, then you can. And then when you get here, you throw a dog, and the dog you're supposed to try clear. Since the brim will have a smoke place, you should try throwing your dog here, just in case somebody's playing the smoke. If there is a guy playing the smoke, then your Raze throws a nade inside of the smoke, and then when it pops, your Raze or satchels inside of the smoke, and then he can just like kind of get control of heaven. So yeah, there's that execute. And then another satchel that you should know is just the satchel from B main to here, because most of the time you should try throwing a nade, your Raze nade, somewhere along the lines of here, so it clears backside, and then your Raze can kind of execute onto up here, so he can kind of just have an off angle and that kind of stuff. Your main priority with the molly is, because there's a really awkward angle, because if your orb lands here, let's say, it's kind of bad because it kind of just leaves this open and allows them to kind of just walk into elbow. So if you're gonna throw a molly, it kind of has to like land here, because it will land inside, and it will pretty much not give them any leeway into elbow, and the person like they actually like have to walk and just be exposed to everything. So that's your main priority when it comes to the Viper orb. Let me see. Oh no, never mind, I remember it now. It's right here. It's between these two things, and then you should also line it up with like this edge right here. So, and then pretty sure you jump up, and with that it should go perfect. Yeah, this one, okay, it won't be bad if you mess it up, but like I said, it'll just kind of be bad. So just make sure you have like somebody playing elbow. But yeah, it does the main priority where like it blocks screens out, which is like I said, the biggest priority should be to block screens, especially since you have the wall in heaven. So yeah, what you can do to make sure that you don't mess it up is also use like this building as a reference. So so if this is going right here, if the molly's landing right there, you're supposed to aim right here. So you make sure your crosshairs lined up right here, and make sure that you're aiming connected with the line, and when you throw it, it will hit the wall right here, and it will land perfectly there. Yep. So there's that one, and then since this one's actually the same distance as here, you can just do the same thing but with the other line, and with the other line, it will just land in the same place, but in the other side, which just creates a perfect lineup, and it's just pretty easy because remember 2 lines, and for the left side you aim at the left line, and for the right side you aim at the right line. Here it's like I don't really like using that, but you could just aim at the top right of that square where it kind of looks like a square. You aim and it will land.
There.
Yep, like you could do it. So that's actually a lot riskier than here, but you can do that. So yeah, it's up to you. So yeah, but those are the main things that you should do for split. I hope this like video kind of helps you decide like what comp and how you should run the comp. If this is like if these agents are in any of your comps, hopefully this has helped you learn how to like execute with them. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.